Aged 25, Jaggi had a successful, if unconventional worldly life. But, all this was set to change. On September 23, 1982, Jaggi made a typical journey on his motorbike to Chamandi Hill. He had no particular reason for going, he just often felt drawn to this mountain. While sitting on a rock, without any particular effort, he began to enter a meditative state.
And now, yoga.
तच्छयोरावणीमहे गातुं यज्ञाय गातुं यज्ञपदे दैवी स्वस्तिरस्तु नः स्वस्तिर्मानुषेभ्यः ऊर्ध्वं जिगात भेषजं शन्नो अस्तु द्विपदे शञ्चतुष्पदे ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः।
उतरे मुझ में आदि योगी।
In his own words, he writes, "Suddenly, I did not know which was me and which was not me. The air that I was breathing, the rock on which I was sitting, the atmosphere around me, everything had become me. I think this madness lasted for 10 to 15 minutes. But when I came back to my normal state, it was about 4.5 hours. And here I'm sitting, tears are flowing to the point where my shirt is wet, and I'm ecstatically crazy. But, here I am, drenched with a completely new kind of blissfulness." Sadhguru later said, "It is hard to describe the experience of enlightenment, but it felt not so much like an achievement, but as a homecoming, a remembrance of what we always had. The awareness of the infinite energy and delight that makes up the universe." When he came back to his normal consciousness, it was evening and several hours had passed. It was an experience that changed completely the direction of his life. He said he went up the mountain as a happy-go-lucky motorcyclist and came back a mystic. Enlightenment never happens, it is there, it is always there. The sadhana that you do is just to see it's there.
The most important thing is, the perception of who I am changed. I'm not talking about the idea of who I am, the perception of who I am. I went up the hill as a smart young man, very cocky and confident about everything. I came down as real nothing. Just nothing means nothing was left in me. I remember that moment. I came down around 7:45, 8. It happens to be a Saturday evening. We are in a construction industry, and Saturday evening is the time when we give out labor to everybody. In front of our office, there are some 500 people waiting. And my partner, I come and park my motorcycle and I still got the engine revving. And I look in and my partner looks out and he can't believe on a Saturday evening I'm not there. He just looks at me like this. I just looked at this entire scene. This is something we built. Built means like every day from morning 5 to 11 in the night, non-stop, I was on sites building this company. I just looked at the expression on my partner's face, he just looked quizzically, "What are you up to? Why are you not here?" kind of look on his face. And I looked at all these people who were waiting in lines for money, the cashiers were giving out money. I engaged the gear and I left. That was my end of my business. Then I loitered around the town because I didn't want to go home. I didn't want to face my mother because suddenly she was no more my mother. Somewhere I was little struggling with that. I knew when I went home, I wouldn't look at her as I have looked at her for the last 25 years. I didn't go there till 11:30 in the night. I wanted her to go to bed, but our mothers are such, she's still waiting. I put my head down and went and said, I'm not hungry, and I went and locked myself in the room. Because though something so fantastic was happening, I was still struggling between the two worlds. Everything that I considered as myself till that moment was gone. And suddenly I look at people, it's indescribable because so many things that you're involved in, it's like you almost died. I think this is how it must feel when you're dead. So many things you think, this is it, this is it, this is it. But tomorrow morning, poof, the man disappears. Nothing. Doesn't matter you cry, you yell, he doesn't respond. He's completely gone. Just like that, I was completely gone. The person that I was just gone.
People began interacting differently with him, seeing in him some inner vision. People spontaneously asked him for advice or to divinize the future. Even his physical appearance changed, with his voice becoming deeper and his eyes wider and brighter.
This happened many times. One day I'm just sitting in my farm and I thought I sat there for about 25–30 minutes, but I have sat there for 13 days. By then a crowd has gathered, India being what it is, there are huge garlands all around me. Somebody is asking how to run his business, somebody wants to know when his daughters will get married. All the nonsense I hated just happening around me. And I actually thought it's only 25–30 minutes, but these people saying 13 days, he's sitting, he's in samadhi, he's this, that. I had not even heard these words. I grew up on, European philosophy, Camus, Kafka, Dostoevsky. You read that stuff in America? And being 60s, Beatles and this and that, I grew up like that. Me and spirituality are another world, there's no chance of me going there. So I had none of these vocabulary, samadhi, this, that stuff in me. People are saying, oh, he's in this kind of samadhi, he's in that kind of samadhi, you touch him, this will happen, and people are trying to grab me So the only thing that I could do was leave that place and travel out, just to escape this, because I couldn't figure what's happening around me. Why I'm telling you this story is, this is possible for every human being. It's my wish and my blessing. This must happen to you. Whether you climb Mount Everest or not, whether you become the richest man on this planet or not, your experience of life on this planet should be pleasant. You must live blissfully and go. That must happen to every human being. Everybody deserves it and everybody is capable of it.
Make sure to subscribe, so you don't miss out on my future videos. The more subscribers I get, again the better and more content I can continue making. Subscribe, subscribe, subscribe.